The hole in your heart is not shaped like the person you wish you were dating.
What would you say to somebody who is looking to date for marriage? And how can they put first things first in their relationship?
Someone who is already dating or looking to date?
Both.
Which one would you rather start with?
Looking to date first. Maybe they're single, looking to date.
Okay. This is actually perfect. Love. Oh, love.
Because I know for me, singleness was a gift right before we started dating and started a relationship. There was that year of singleness after getting out of a relationship.
Sure.
And it was such a special time of learning how to love God and be loved by God. And it really prepared me to be able to be in a relationship with you next. Because if you were what I needed to receive love and to feel like I could love myself, then it never would have lasted.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, then I'll pause from my notes a little bit here for a second. Let's talk about idols. Relationships, dating, and marriage, all these things can become idols. It can become an idol really, really easily. What's an idol?
I was just about to ask that.
There's so many different definitions. I'll give you a few. An idol is anything, I would say anything in your life that you feel is competing for God's attention is an idol. Anything in your life that makes God an inconvenience is probably an idol. Anything in your life that you can't stop thinking about is an idol.
That song that you love, Clear the Stage.
Clear the stage and set the sound and lights ablaze. If that's the measure it must take to crush the idols, jerk the pews and all the congregation too, until the congregation's few and have revival. Because you can sing all you want to and still get it wrong.
Yeah, because anything you want with all of your heart is an idol. Anything
you can't stop thinking about is an idol. And this is tough. I'm a trailblazer. I'm very passionate. I'm a pursuer. And it is easy for me to get so zeroed in. Your wife can be your idol. Your husband can be your idol. Your habits can be your idol. Your streak on the Bible app can be an idol if that's the goal and not, sanctification and getting to know the Lord. So many things can be an idol. And so let Jesus be the center. If Jesus is not the center of your life, something is. If Jesus is not becoming the center of your life, something else is gonna be. And so start there.
Yeah.
If you're single, Jesus needs to be the center of your life.
And he needs to complete you, not that desire for somebody else.
Sorry, I'm fidgeting around a
You're
lot.
Not
I know Taylor's going to get upset with me.
No, you're good. I don't get upset. It's just, some editing I have to do and post. That's fine.
Sorry.
But I think you don't need anyone to complete you other than Jesus. There's a hole in your heart that needs to be filled, and it cannot be filled by a significant other. Yeah.
The hole in your heart isn't Travis shaped, I'll tell you that. It's not James shaped. It's not Greg shaped. It's not Grant shaped. It's not, there's going to be some girls out there that are like, dang, Craig, I'm sorry, man. It's not Tracy shaped. It's not Melody shaped. It's, it's like the hole in your heart is not shaped like the person you wish you were dating. It's not.
That longing for affection that you have is not just from another person. I think that it's good to have that, but it's also, are you turning to Jesus? Are you seeking Jesus?
Yeah. And if you can't be happy without her or him, you probably can't be happy with them. It's just even geographically, if you can't be happy where you're living, you're probably not going to be happy where you're not living, where you wish you were living. If the grass is always greener, I can tell you this. You do not want to get into a relationship, dating or married, where you're dating somebody that expects you to complete them. You don't want that.
You'll always let them down. You cannot. You cannot be their idol because you will always let them down. And I also want to be sensitive to that too, of like we know a lot of people who are single and they long to be dating someone, but more than that, they long to be married. And so I also want to be sensitive to that, because we have been married for 7.5 years and we haven't had to go through the dating how it is today. Or even in high school, all the pressures of dating and who's with who and the drama with that. Like, we haven't had to deal with that in a while. So I also want to be sensitive to that and really say, like, lean into the Lord and know that He will give you the desires of your heart. Yeah.
We want to be sensitive, but we don't want to tiptoe around it.
No.
And so
no tiptoeing.
That's always the piece of, we know that, everything that we're going to talk about, there's sensitivity out there. And so we certainly don't come from an authority place. Oh, look at us, because we're married, we have all the answers. No. We say, look, because God has revealed His insight to us, we've got some answers. But we don't have any answers that God doesn't give to us. Any story that we're sharing is not the wisdom. It is the application of it. It's just the moments where God's maybe made it click. Yeah. And so, the truth doesn't come from our experience. The truth comes from God. And it just so happens that we've experienced some of that. But we're praying for you. If y'all have any specific, questions about it, please shoot them in. But we were going to, so that the person or the dating relationship can't become an idol, I would love to at least talk about one more thing. Yeah. Which is defining love. I've been talking about this the whole pod. Leading up to this is, if y'all don't have the same definition for love, then you're not going to have the same destination in this loving relationship that you're hoping for. And so I want to give two different ones. The first one is the love that we see when God so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son. That is the same love that we see in Ephesians 5:25 that says, husbands, love your wife. Husbands, this love is agape. It's unconditional, no matter what. I choose you when it doesn't feel right, or when it does feel right. I choose you kind of love. That is the center for unconditional love. That's what it means when husbands are supposed to love their wives. That's what it means. Now, there's 3 other types of love that we see in Greek in the New Testament. I'm not gonna dive into those. If y'all give us a, for whatever reason, if you've got an overwhelming flood of comments and you're like, please dive into all the different loves, we'll do that. I've preached on them before. We've done several different series on loves and gone for weeks on there. So I'm down for it. I just am not assuming that y'all want to hear that. But
I think the love that you're going to focus on right now is so important, because we've known somebody who was engaged to be married, and we were talking to them and asking them what was if they knew what the definition of love was biblically, and they had no idea. Yeah.
And again, it's not we're not picking on anybody. It's not that at all. It's God shows us what are the definitions for this love that He invented. He didn't step into human history and change the rules. He made the rules. Humans fell short, and then He stepped into human history and helped us out here. So this is it, though. Husbands, love your wife as Christ loved the church. That's love number 1. The other love is brotherly love. It's philia love. It's friendship love. Now, you want to know this because you don't want to get wrapped up. It's, I really like this guy or this girl as a friend. Well, great. You probably want to start there in your dating relationship. Me and Taylor had, this type of love between us for years before we ever dated, before we ever committed to an agape type of love. There's also another one that's really important. It's called storge, but it's just this, I feel like I like this a lot. You storge love ice cream. You storge love colors. It's not a decision. It's not a choice. It just so happens. It's in the English language, it's more of a like. It's, I really like this thing. If you're not careful, you really like guys and girls in your dating relationship. And then even in marriage, you get to where you're like, I don't really like my wife right now. I don't really like my husband right now. We'll be honest. there are times where you will not like your husband or your wife.
We don't have the butterfly feelings, but love is a choice.
Yeah. And here's another fun fact. Taylor and I in college, we were in the same family psychology class, and we had a section on dating. I don't know if you remember this, Tay, but they were talking about why it's so important for there to be a certain length of time in dating before you get married. Now, this is the rule. There's certainly so many exceptions to the rule, but at least knowing the person is because this honeymoon phase, the honeymoon phase is defined by the butterfly feelings. That honeymoon phase psychologically lasts for about 2 years. And so it takes about 2 years for your body to get exhausted from pumping those hormones and emotions in through everything. And then you finally start looking at the other person and going, why'd you say it like that? That's dating too, though. And so, if you might be dating and thinking this person's the one. If it's only been a month, chill. I don't know, man. No, you might be right. What were you say?
I was going to say, is there anything else you want to say about the definition of love? Because if not, I would love to talk to the people who are currently dating and how they can pursue.
Yeah. Well, I want to give one more story about the definition for love. So,
Please.
The Old Testament was written in Hebrew, so the Greek love agape is not there. But the closest thing we see is hesed, and it's in Hosea. I'm not going to turn there, but I'll give you a little paraphrase for it. Hosea was a prophet and an incredible man of God that God chose. And what God had Hosea do was marry a prostitute, a woman who was, by every sense of the word, not a follower of God, not interested in God's plan at all. And so God said, I want you to go marry her. Hosea said, she's going to cheat on me. She's going to fall away. She's going to go and sleep with other men. God said, I want you to, and the love is hesed. Translated, it means I want you to choose that person unconditionally, knowing they have nothing to offer you in return. And then he said, I want you to choose her like I chose Israel, knowing that my people had nothing to offer me in return. So that's the last definition I want to give you on that, because anytime we're going to enter into a marriage relationship that it's talking about love, that's what it is. And so y'all might be watching this dating going, whoa, we're just having fun. As fun as dating is, and as fun as being married is, and as fun as being connected with a person like that is, don't let the fun get in the way of your faith. The most fun thing to do is to pursue God with the person that he's got for you. And so you want to keep it that way.